what do you see if we get hyper-Bitcoinization and Bitcoin takes over as this medium of exchange that everybody uses for day-to-day transactions globally? Obviously, on the main chain, that would we can't have billions of people using the main chain at the same time.
You know what I think it's going to be?
What is the solution there? You think, or do you see Bitcoin as just being this like kind of like digital gold, this global store of value, and then we transact with stuff like
USDC,
and shitcoins, and USDC.
I think it's more probable that if Loomis wants to actually do the treasury thing.
Oh, she does.
Yeah,
She's
and
awesome.
it does work, and we'd get dollar-backed Bitcoin and all that. It's going to be nuts. I think it's more likely that like major companies like Visa or MasterCard will start building up their own little treasury reserve as well. And all those little microtransactions are going to be done through them.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. PayPal's already kind of doing that.
Yeah,
Venmo, PayPal, all these different things. So.
Yeah, because
they'll be the Lightning network.
Yeah,
you'll have some of your custodial sats there.
Sorry, Lightning network. I don't mean to obsolete you, but
well, in an ideal world, in my opinion, hopefully all options are on the table, right?
Yeah,
use Lightning, you can. You don't have to.
Yeah,
if you don't like it, whatever, you have complaints about it. That's fine.
It's just
going to have to compete in a free marketplace of ideas.
And it's a matter of acceptance. Because, the person that you want to buy it from, the merchants have to accept it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to just use what they're using, like Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah.
So, I think that's probably the more likely outcome. Also, Visa and MasterCard, they don't want to get obsoleted. Those payment companies, they don't want to get obsoleted. So it's more, they'd rather adopt it than fight it.
We're seeing that. I mean, we're starting to see that happen.
But
still very early though.
Yeah. I think the main point of Bitcoin is for just bigger sums of money to be transferred on a blockchain.
Yeah, that's the way I see Bitcoin too. Like the main chain eventually will be governments and large value transactions. You're buying a house, you're buying a car or something like that.
Where,
we might get to a point if we really see strong adoption where to move to do a transaction on main chain, it's $30 fee, $40 fee for every transaction.
And it's funny too, because they're all like, now we're like close to 100,000 right now. And they're like, why is the mempool still so low? And it's all like, because people aren't using it, dude. Like people are still using like regular money, so that's why you see the price going up, because it's a storage of value. It's not a method of exchange yet.
Yeah, I see that too. This is a law that has to do with money. Like Gresham's law is an economic principle stating that bad money drives out good. When both forms of currency are accepted at face value, here's a breakdown. So Sir Thomas Gresham, an English financier in the 16th century, although the principle was observed and discussed by earlier economists like Nicholas Copernicus and others. So this idea of bad money, this refers to currency that has less intrinsic value compared to its face value, or is less trusted or desired than another form of currency. And then good money, which in our case, you have Bitcoin as the good money, and you have the US dollar as bad money, right? And when we say good and bad, what we mean is, this idea of a higher intrinsic value, a more trusted or desired for saving or hoarding, right? So Bitcoin is this, like, I do this myself. Like, I don't want to spend my sats personally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't take joy. It's almost painful for me if I'm doing a transaction and I'm sending somebody Bitcoin.
I only use it. I pieces of art. There are some pieces of art that I've purchased because I think the artist's work is worth it.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen around walked around my room. You see that I bought from the Bitcoin conference. It's all around.
Oh yeah, I definitely have a few sick pieces myself, if I say it myself. But I just appreciate the artists, and I think they deserve it because it's proof of work.
What? Isn't that fascinating that like art, when you look at art, because I mentioned that.
Also, I'm talking about physical art real quick. Sorry to interject. real art, not AI, NFT, like, or whatever.
That's a whole different rabbit hole we
yeah.
can go down. To me, you know, like I see their application more as like a digital, you know, record proof of proof of authenticity, or you know, like you own this NFT, it's just cryptographically provable membership in a club or something.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I kind of really,
Yeah.
you know, engage with it. Now there are fidenzas and all these different things, and you know, I'm not super down that rabbit hole, but yeah, the physical art, this idea of proof of work, art is really the embodiment of that, right? It's like this artist who put all this time and effort, he put this proof of work of his time into making this piece, right? It really, it's like, if you think about it from its base principle, it's almost like you're capturing someone's life energy in this. Like,
you're just
their proof of work of like they've spent hours or days or weeks or months working on this thing.
Yeah.
Right. I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe we're the idiots for trading the limited quantity thing for this, like, you know, piece of wood and paint, but you know, you know, certain pieces of art that like kind of hit home that are like, yeah, it's
how does it make you feel, right? I mean, it's like,
it's just a subjective thing.
It is very, it is. But there is a tie to the physical objective reality, which is this individual human being poured their time and life energy into creating this piece.
Yeah.
And you know, that can hit you differently, right? It can hit you a different way that it hits me.
Yeah.
We have our own subjective preferences and opinion, but at the end of the day, proof of work went into making that. It's like, I want to spend dollars. I don't want to spend like, you know, like you're probably in the same boat as me. It's like people are like, oh, what's your, you know, I don't even think about like my net worth and like I don't even think about it in terms of dollars. I think about it in like, how much Bitcoin can I stack? How, you know what I mean? Like, I think about it in terms of Satoshis.
Yeah, it's like two games. It's like you got the tax game and then the Satoshi game. You know, so it's like, I don't know how it's gonna work out if we're gonna still have. I'm pretty sure we're still gonna have the dollar. I just don't know how it's gonna work. My crystal ball does not go that far into the future.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is just pure speculation, thought experiments, you know.
But I think that if Gresham's law is, if that's true, then wouldn't that make Bitcoin the bad money?
Based on the definition, the idea of good money versus bad money, the good money has a higher intrinsic value. You know, people prefer to hold that because it doesn't debase itself. You know, the government can't print it. So Bitcoin is the good money. The bad money would be the one that, you know, they're constantly pressing a button and printing trillions out and, you know, debasing you and stealing you.
We'll see.